Well, let's begin with security matters, where President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of new Directors General for the National Intelligence Agency, NIA, and Department of State Services, DSS. According to a statement from the Special Advisor to the President, Chief Ajurin Galale, Ambassador Mohammed has been named the new Director General of the NIA, while Mr. Adebola Oluwatosin Ajayi will lead the DSS. Ambassador Mohammed, who joined the NIA in 1995, has had a distinguished career in the Foreign Service. He has held various positions, including serving as the head of Nigeria's mission to Libya before his promotion to director. The newly appointed DSS Director General, Mr. Adebola Ajayi, has similarly advanced through the ranks, having served as the State Director in Bauchi, Enugu, Bayelsa, Rivers, and Kogi State. Before his new role, he held the position as Assistant Director General of the DSS. Now, this appointment comes in the wake of the resignation of former chiefs of the NIA and DSS. Bandits have abducted over 150 persons and rustled over 1,000 castles in some villages in Gobir Emirate of Sokoto State. The incident happened a few days after the death in kidnappers' den of the Emir of Gobir, Alhaji Isa Muhammad Bawa, who was also the district head of Gatawa. The monarch was on July 29th kidnapped alongside his son and 6 others on the Sokoto Seven Road. Hundreds of youths in the area ultimately staged protests after the killing of the district head. Confirming the latest abductions, Professor Bello Bada of the Department of English, Usman Danfodio University in Sokoto, said it was unfortunate that bandits had returned to their dastardly operations in the area just a few days after the death of the district head. In the meantime, Nigeria's Inspector General of Police has assured kidnapped victims currently being held hostage of efforts to secure their release. The IGP gave this assurance while handing over some of the recently rescued medical students from Benue State, north-central Nigeria, to their parents and guardians. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudo tells us more.
These are the recently rescued Catholic medical students from the University of Jos and Maiduguri, whose rescue were effected from kidnappers in Otupo, Benue State. It took the synergy of police, local hunters, and the Benue State government for the rescue effort to be successful.
For them, for us to even, from time to time, convince them that indeed the security agencies are at work, and assure them that by the grace of God, the security agencies are going to bring back these students unhurt.
Yeah, my message to those who are still in captivity and to their family members is that they should not lose hope. If we can achieve this, then we can resolve all other kidnap cases that are still pending. Those that are still in captivity of kidnappers, there is hope that they will soon be rescued. We are already at the turning point. Things are going to turn for better from now on. You know, when you want to determine the turning point in your graph, for those who study mathematics, and I'm sure everybody must have offered the subject mathematics in school. If you want to find the turning point of a graph, you can easily find it by just differentiating the equation. You find where dy dx is 0, then that is where the turning point is.
The university authorities also assured that the students will be given every support necessary to help them seamlessly back into the society. In Abuja for News Central, I'm Emmanuel Bagudu.
So far arrested 52 members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, also known as Shiite, and the commissioner disclosed this to newsmen at the police headquarters in Abuja while fielding questions from journalists on the recent clash between the police and the Shiite members. News Central's correspondent Emmanuel Bagudo has details.
It's not business as usual at the popular Wuse Market area in the nation's capital, Abuja. This is following the aftermath of a clash between police operatives and Shiite demonstrators.
Streets, there were people coming from doing their life, when those policemen are sitting down there, so they are the first people that started throwing tear gas. So I saw it and I was even shocked. I thought maybe somebody just touched them, and before I know, just see issues started shooting rifle, throwing tear gas on the air. So that was what I can remember, you know. So when this thing get worse, when I saw a bullet coming, I said, wow, it shocked me really seriously.
The reason why, you see, when their power is more than the police people, they now bring this first and run away. That is how the crowd, the thing, you know, just came in. The result of this burning of this car, that is the result.
These people, they are almost closing to Musa here. The next thing I had was tear gas. Tua. Even the effect of the tear gas got to that place we were staying.
Reacting to the incident, the FCT Police Commissioner says 2 of his men lost their lives, while 3 others remain in critical condition.
We are going to hunt them, no matter where they are. I assure them very well that we are going to hunt them. Because the families of the policemen they have killed, look at them crying, for no just cause. If we have killed any of them, it would have been a different thing. Or if we have attacked them, it would have been a different thing. They would have said, Igwe did this and Igwe did that. But today, they have willingly, with impunity, attacked policemen and killed them without provocation. So you saw that dead body. If you don't know it, go to the Wuse mortuary and you see them there. It's just annoying, just provoking, but I want to assure them that we are not going to leave them unpunished.
The police commissioner warned the Shiite group that investigations are currently ongoing to fish out other culprits in the clash. In Abuja for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
To unpack this, we're joined by security expert Chidi Omeje. Good evening, glad to have you join me. Let me kick off by asking what your perspective is on the recent clashes between the Shiite protesters and, of course, the police in Abuja. And what do you think are the underlying factors fueling this violence?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I don't know if you are here. Yeah,
can you hear me?
The network is not very. Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Okay.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to start by, condoling with the families of the deceased police officers and any person that was killed in that mayhem yesterday. The issue of Shiites didn't just start today. We know how it's always been a problem right there in Kaduna State, in Zaria, and even of course in Abuja here, ever since they had, when their leader was arrested and all that. Look, we can't continue like this. Governments are there to solve problems. I had assumed that this government, having known that we have a serious issue, an outstanding issue, an unresolved issue with this Shiite movement, should have, deliberately find one ingenious way or the other to resolve this matter. I'm not sure Nigeria is the only place where Shiite people, the Shiite sect of Islam exists in Africa or around the world. How come it's only here that we have this clash all the time? It's a pity that those guys, for whatever reasons, will always clash with the state. But it behoves on the state also to find a way to, nip this in the bud. This is where the issue of crisis management comes in. The police should understand that not all the time that you start shooting. Find a way to deal with these guys without necessarily, stoking tension, and then that leads to this kind of crisis that we saw yesterday.
Well,
I feel about it. It's not what a normal, sane society should be talking about every day.
Now, Mr. Omeje, just to come in there, I hear when you talk about the need for a solution, but then what factors contribute to the rise in insecurity in the country?
Well, The rise in security, of course, we all know that there's what we call root cause analysis that we have always talked about. And this root cause analysis of the insecurity in Nigeria have revealed clearly that the chief culprit is bad governance. Bad governance, is multifaceted. It takes a very effective governance to deal with issues like this. Now, talking about underlying factors of insecurity, of course, like I said, bad governance is at the heart of it. It's because of bad governance. Bad governance, by way of, you have ineptitude in governance, you have corruption, you have, so many things that have engendered, this sort of institution that, make crime and criminality attractive to people. I've always said that the magic one to dealing with these multifaceted insecurity is good governance. If you enthrone good governance, a lot of things will be resolved. Now, this issue of IMNL, it's purely religious, and it is difficult to really understand how religion, operate in a man's mind. But then again, I'm not sure that if all those chaps out there on the street all the time, in a Shiite procession, if they had something meaningful to do, probably they wouldn't be so bitter with the society to the point of always daring the security forces. I think that governance has come come. I mean, we have come to a time where we look at issue of governance and governance paradigm to see how it can resolve matters. Yeah.
All right. Now, still talking resolution now, but beyond the talk about good governance, what role do you think the government, as well as security agencies, can play in addressing the grievances of the Shiite and other groups, and also prevent further violence?
Hello. Do you know? I didn't get the last part of your question.
Okay,
network was.
Yes, I was asking, still talking resolutions now, what role do you think the government and also security agencies can play in addressing the grievances of the Shiite groups as well as other groups to prevent further violence?
Very important question. I think that this is, I talked about the issue of crisis management. You see, not all the time that government, bear its fangs. There are times you find a way to resolve matters without necessarily, letting it go out of hand. In this particular matter, I read from the statement released by the Shiite people yesterday how, their procession was peaceful until police people started to throw tear gas and shooting at them. Now, I do not know what the true situation. I wasn't there with them, but the fine art of crisis management is what we need. Not all the time. You see what happened during the protest, the last protest. Before you knew it, people begin to see live fire. Police begin to throw tear gas and all manner of things. So time has come for our security agents to. It's not all the time that we begin to shoot guns and then let things go awry to the point that a number of deaths were recorded. So I'm calling for a much more creative way of dealing with crises that other than just shooting guns and stuff.
All right, thank you so much for your perspective on the news. Chidi Omeje, security expert. Many thanks indeed.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you for staying tuned. And now to judicial matters. The Court of Appeal in Abuja on Monday overturned the previous judgment by Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court, which had ordered the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to include 378 excluded ad hoc delegates in its primary election. The judgment was in response to a suit filed by the aggrieved delegates who were left out of the PDP's February 22nd primary election in Edo State for the upcoming governorship race. Justice Ekwo had previously ruled that their exclusion was a violation of the party's constitution and mandated their inclusion in the primary. However, a three-man panel of the appellate court set aside this judgment, citing that the lower court lacked jurisdiction to entertain the case. The appellate court further notes that the plaintiffs, being non-aspirant, did not have the legal standing to file the suit. The Commissioner of Finance in Borno State, Ahmed Ali Ahmed, has passed away. His death was announced in a statement by the State Commissioner of Information and Internal Security, Professor Usman Tar in Maiduguri. According to the statement, the burial is slated for 5 p.m. local time at the family house of the deceased in Damboa Road area of the state. Away from that, a federal high court in Abuja has frozen the bank accounts of 32 individuals and companies linked to the End Bad Governance protest pending investigation and prosecution. Justice Emeka Onweti ruled on an ex parte motion filed by Ibrahim Mohammed, counsel for the Inspector General of Police. The ruling, dated August 20th and made public on Sunday, ordered the banks to freeze the accounts and apprehend any persons transacting with them. The accounts allegedly involve proceeds from unlawful activities, including criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, treason, cyberbullying, and cyberstalking. The Inspector General of Police listed several respondents, including Palinho Global Service Limited and Obedient Movement Multi-Purpose Cooperative Society. And now to education matters, where the federal government's scheduled meeting with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, initially set for today, has been postponed. ASUU President Emmanuel Osodeke confirmed the delay, which was originally announced by the Minister of Education on Friday. While no official reason was provided for the postponement, the meeting is now expected to take place on Wednesday, August 28th. This development comes as public university lecturers under ASUU have threatened to embark on a nationwide strike. The union cited the federal government's failure to honor a 2009 renegotiated agreement. The potential strike was one of the resolutions passed during ASUU's National Executive Council meeting held last weekend at the University of Ibadan. ASUU's demands include issues related to welfare, university funding, and a halt to proliferation of new universities across the country. The federal government says only 8 universities have been accredited to award degrees to Nigerians in Togo and Benin Republic. The minister also listed 5 accredited universities authorized to provide degree programs in Benin Republic for students from Nigeria. The minister said the revelation was part of a report submitted to the Federal Executive Council by a committee with a mandate to probe degree certificate racketeering by foreign and local universities in Nigeria. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has flagged off the construction of the City Center Bus Terminal in Abuja. The terminal, which is expected to be equipped with a state-of-the-art facility, a recreational center, and an intra-city rail terminal, is expected to be completed in 1 year. Amadine Oyi has details.
In attendance were officials of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, representatives of the FCT area councils, and some federal lawmakers. The event, the flag-off ceremony of the construction of the Central Business District Bus Terminal.
Before now, we have flagged off 2 of the bus terminals, one in Mabushi and one in Kubo. This is for the Central Business District, which is at the center of the city.
What we are doing today is the flag off of the CBD bus terminal. This is very unique in the sense that this is right the center of Abuja. This is the center of Nigeria, and we can't do anything less. Some of the facilities that we have here include lift, public address system, elevator, lighting, ATM. It's meant to be a center not only for transportation and also for commerce. We want Nigerians to be able to travel freely. When you close from work, you can travel to every part of Abuja, from Gwagwalada to Nyanya to Buhari, everywhere you're going, and you can interconnect.
The Minister of State for the Federal Capital urged the contractors to meet up with key deliverables and not disappoint the FCT administration.
We trust that your craftsmanship will reflect the high standard and aspiration we hold for this bus terminal. Let us all take pride in this milestone and remain united in our commitment to seeing it through its fruition.
The Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, says that the terminal will tackle the problem of insecurity and resolve the capital's notorious one-chance syndicate problem.
what we're trying to do is to integrate and improve our transport system. It is going to cut off this so-called one-chance crime that is always committed. Here, this is a bus terminal, taxi terminal, where you can come in, and the management of these bus terminals and taxi terminals will know these are the vehicles that go to social place, and these are the vehicles you have boarded. For security reasons, we'll be able to identify.
He says that the terminal is proof of the current administration's commitment to providing the state-of-the-art infrastructure.
This Green Hope agenda of Mr. President, I have said severally and I continue to say, it's not just by talking, it's by showing, it's reality. Seeing is believing. I believe by the grace of God, the next year, as the contractor has promised us, we will formally commission these 3 bus and taxi terminals to the glory of God.
The minister also assured the contractors that they will be paid when due. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Recall earlier we brought you news regarding the president approving the appointment of new Director General for the National Intelligence Agency as well as Department of State Services. And to talk about that, we're joined by Dennis Amakre, and that's the former Director, Department of State Services. Good evening, glad to have you join me on the news. Let me commence by asking what your impression is regarding these appointments for the NIA as well as the DSS. We can barely hear you. If you can kindly unmute.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, this is something that is expected because anytime you have a new government, of course, new heads of services will come. And then, of course, the heads of the DSS and the NIA have been there even after the other service chiefs have been retired because of maybe the jobs they've been doing for the government. But maybe it becomes necessary that the government have decided now to maybe bring new blood into the system. So I think it's a welcome idea.
Well, we understand that the NIA boss, notified people of his resignation earlier, as well as that of the DSS. Do you think these resignations are voluntary, or was it, imposed upon them?
Well, the thing is that what you have in the public space is that they've resigned. But I think appointments and reappointments or retirements of heads of very sensitive organization is at the discretion of the president, and he has decided. So it doesn't really matter whether they resigned or he asked them to go, but it's at his discretion. If he didn't want them to go, he would have said, okay, you stay on. But he felt that maybe he wants to inject new blood into the system to rejig the intelligence community. And I think it's quite in order.
Well, what then you think could be the impact of these new changes on the security architecture of the country?
Well, Nigeria has been grappling with a lot of security problems. And as we swim through this sea of insecurity, the security agencies, like I said, have done their best, even in the military, the service chiefs, and now the intelligence community on its own part, and we feel anytime you re-strategize, and this is maybe part of the re-strategization, where you have to inject new blood inside. And
okay, let's talk
I
about.
think we expect that we expect that there will be changes for the structure, the security infrastructure, whereby new things will be, from new eyes. We'll see how to tackle the problem of insecurity in Nigeria.
Now, talking about changes, what's your assessment of the bosses for these intelligence bodies, and what's the expectations going forward from them?
I don't know much about the Director General of the NIA, but I know Tosin Ajayi. He's a thoroughbred security professional. He's been state director in so many states, and I've met him so many times. So I think he's a professional that will take it seriously, because what we need now is a security professional that will carry out the professional security job. I also pray that they should not have much intermingling of politics into the security job. And then, of course, let the political leadership listen to the security professionals if they want to solve the problem of insecurity in Nigeria. And I think, yes, I think somebody like Tosin is going to bring a new breath of fresh air into the system.
All right, thank you so much for your insight on the news. Dennis Amakre, former Director, Department of State Services. Many thanks indeed.
Thank you for having me.
And now to health matters. The National Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, has started a 7-day warning strike across all of its centers nationwide. The resident doctor strike is a clamor for the release of its kidnapped members, Dr. Ganiya Spokola, who has been in captivity over 8 months. In a statement, NAD President Dr. Dele Abdullahi said the strike will begin on Monday, August 26, 2024 at midnight. Abdullahi disclosed that the decision was made during the virtual emergency National Executive Council meeting held on Sunday, August 25, 2024. He said the warning strike will last for 1 week and will be total, as there will be no emergency care. Earlier, we were joined by Publicity and Social Secretary, National Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Egbe Jonah, to shed light on this.
We decided to embark on this 7-day warning strike as a result of the fact that our colleague who has been in captivity for the past 8 months is still in the kidnappers' den. Sometime in July, we had a meeting, a National Executive Council meeting in Katsina, where a communique was rolled out demanding her immediate release. Following that, we convoked a subsequent emergency meeting where we gave an ultimatum of 2 weeks. Now, upon expiration of the ultimatum, we will have to convoke another meeting which may necessitate a strike. That was what gave birth to this strike, because at the expiration of the state 2 weeks, nothing was done concerning the release of our colleague. All we demand for is the safe release of Dr. Ganiya Spokola, who has been in captivity for the past 8 months. A woman who probably have worn just one clothes for this period under the piercing sun and scorching sun and rain. We demand our release. We urge the federal government to rise up to this methodical challenge that is plaguing the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors. It's something that is so worrisome. That's why we had to take to this strike. We tend to escalate if nothing is done.
The Lagos State government is staying true to their vow to commence prosecution of individuals who engage in open defecation, particularly along the Abuja Expressway, as sanitation operatives clean the feces that litter the median of the expressway. Now, officials of Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps have arrested 20 individuals for defecation on the median in the Abuja area of the state. The Commissioner for Environmental and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, disclosed this on Sunday via his social media handle on X. News Central's Bettina Unweli has details.
On Tuesday, August 13, 2024, the Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, in partnership with the Ogun State Environmental Protection Agency, organized an advocacy walk against open defecation from OPIC Ogun State to Beggar Underbridge. The aim of the initiative highlights the government's commitment to promoting public health and environmental sustainability.
There's partnership with the Ogun State government. About a week and a half ago, myself and the MD of Ogun State's Environmental Protection Agency did a cleanup on that entire stretch, and we initiated enforcement so that anybody who's found defecating on that road will face the law.
During the patrol and monitoring of Ojudu Beggar on Saturday night and early hours of Sunday, operatives of the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps arrested 20 individuals for committing environmental infractions. Earlier, 6 defaulters were equally arrested for open urination on the rail track in front of the Nigerian Army Shopping Complex Arena, Oshodi.
There's a population explosion, and the major access points and cluster areas are the places where you have open defecation. We're doing a lot in that aspect. We're doing cleanups, we're commissioning toilets, we're doing enforcement. We're also bringing lights to those corners. It's unlikely you'll find somebody defecating openly in the day, at midday. It usually happens very early in the morning or late in the night. The filling stations around there are great. Some of them are giving us up to 5 toilets for anybody who wants to use for free. There's toilet construction coming up along that corridor.
The opportunity as global leaders.
Recall that in 2018, the then President Muhammadu Buhari declared a state of emergency on open defecation and subsequently signed into law an Executive Order 009 titled The Open Defecation Free Nigeria by 2025 and Other Related Matters, Order 2019. Nigeria had been ranked the second country with the highest number of people practicing open defecation at the time. It is hoped that all and sundry will take better care of the environment so that the environment can take care of you too. In Lagos, for News Central, Bettina Nwi.
Thank you for staying with us. South Africa's Army Health Service has announced the arrival of a Chinese hospital ship, the Peace Ark, in Cape Town to deliver essential free medical care to South African patients. This initiative is part of a joint exercise between South Africa and China. According to a statement released on Monday, the Peace Ark, docked on South Africa's western shores on August 22nd, will offer independent medical services for 7 consecutive days. Medical personnel from the South African Military Health Service will collaborate with Chinese medical staff to treat patients. While South Africa boasts of the most advanced economy in Africa, the country continues to struggle with widespread poverty and high unemployment, which often renders quality health care inaccessible to many people.
Involved in our own hospital, which is 2 military hospitals, where surgical procedures are also taking place. We involved in Tigerberg Hospital, where the CT scans took place. We involved in Power. We involved in Mitchell's Plain, as well as Somerset Hospital. So those are the hospitals where we have the collaborations between the military, the Chinese, as well as the National Department of Health.
I only use public because I don't have medical aid anymore.
Some African leaders have called for continuous collaboration at regional and sub-regional levels to boost Africa's growth and development aspirations. And this was as the Southern African Development Community, SADC, marks its SADC Celebration Day 2024. News Central's Emmanuel Begudu reports.
From music, fashion, and cuisines, it's another opportunity to showcase the most beautiful and fascinating things about Africa.
This initiative is also very well appreciated because it gives us the opportunity to discover the cuisine and the touristic and cultural diversity through the videos that have been posted here.
Today's event, the Southern Africa Development Community Day in Nigeria, and the members of the Diplomatic Corps seized the opportunity to reiterate the dynamics of the African dream.
Yeah, today is not the Cuban days, but the Cuban is with SADC because Cuban is part of the Africa.
Is it political? Is it economic? Is it security? So we need to be very deliberate, intentional in creating believable, trustworthy, and timely narrative both on this traditional and online media. We have a responsibility as journalists to say it as you see, but we must also know that we have a responsibility to tell very positive narrative about our own country. We are not saying that as public or private media organization, we should lie. If something good is not happening, we shouldn't say it. But if the good thing, if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu renewal agenda is impacting positively on the people, say it.
And we celebrate with another ambassadors in the Republic of Nigeria. I think that it was a good day for us because we receive many guests here, our brothers, our sisters, and we are very happy to share this moment with them.
The SADC celebration is an annual event that brings together world leaders to discuss issues related to the growth and development of the world, with Africa placed at the front banner. In Abuja, for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
The federal government has announced that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, lacks the necessary funds to rebuild its aging pipeline infrastructure. This was revealed by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Emir of Gobir, during the 2024 Energy and Labour Summit organized by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria in Abuja. Gobir highlighted the urgent need to repair the country's pipeline, which are described as old, corroded and expired. He stressed that even if Nigeria could boost crude oil production beyond 1.7 million barrels per day, the real challenge would be transporting the oil to terminals due to the deteriorating pipeline network. Despite facing numerous global challenges, including legal disputes and regulatory examination, cryptocurrency trading has demonstrated resilience and permanence. As a result, governments worldwide, including Nigeria, are recognizing its presence and initiating measures to establish regulatory frameworks. Our correspondent, Juliet Roland, compiled this report.
In Nigeria, the Securities and Exchange Commission is set to issue licenses for virtual asset providers, including cryptocurrency exchanges. This move marks a significant shift towards regulating the crypto ecosystem in the country, following earlier restrictions on them.
That is renewed hope for these exchanges, because they would believe now that they have the backing of the federal government. They would believe now that they will stop being a constant battle with the federal government.
With maturity in the space and what we've seen happen over the past few years, I think the time has finally come, for Nigeria to join several other jurisdictions and regulate, crypto.
A notable example is the case of Sam Bankman-Fried, a founder of the now defunct FTX exchange, who has been sentenced to 25 years in prison for defrauding customers and investors. This high-profile case highlights the need for regulation to protect consumers and maintain market integrity.
So in the case of SBF, we saw him misappropriating users' funds. And there was no way for companies or for investors or also for the government of the United States to check to make sure that the assets were being held one-to-one, reflecting and representing what the users have. So for governments to be able to limit or prevent something like that happening again, they would have to find a way to make sure they know the ledger balance of these exchanges, to make sure that it's a proper one-to-one representative or representation of what users have in their balance.
My view is this is an opportunity for us here in Nigeria to actually get things right. Put some new laws in place, and I believe that's happening already. If you wish to operate in Nigeria from this moment forward, you need to be licensed.
Regulation is a necessary step, as many Nigerians and citizens of other countries actively trade cryptocurrencies. Without oversight, platforms can take advantage of the lack of regulation, leaving citizens vulnerable to fraud. As governments worldwide grapple with the complexities of cryptocurrency, one thing is clear. Regulation is key to harnessing its potential while protecting consumers' investment.
In sports, Victor Osimhen's agent has seemingly dismissed the possibility of the Napoli striker moving to Saudi Arabia this summer, saying that the 25-year-old still has much to do in Europe. The reigning African Footballer of the Year has made it clear that he wants to leave the Italian club but is reportedly being forced into move to Saudi Arabia. In a statement released today, Osimhen's agent, Roberto Calenda, said his client was not a package to be shipped far away. Osimhen has scored 48 goals in all competitions in his last 2 campaigns at Napoli and is widely regarded as one of the leading strikers in the world of football. In 2022 and 2023 season, he played a key role in Napoli winning their first Serie A title in 33 years. Chelsea have been consistently linked with a move for the striker before the close of the summer transfer window on Friday. Super Eagles captain Wilfred Ndidi and forward Alex Iwobi have revealed that winning their Group D matches are crucial for Nigeria's bid to qualify for the African Champions. Ndidi acknowledged that the team is not yet at their desired level, but emphasized the need to regroup, while Iwobi notes that the team's quality and stressing the importance of earning points.
It's not where we wanted to be, or the position we wanted to be. It was difficult games. I think we just need to regroup and try to correct some mistakes and try to go all in for these games. We definitely need to win. We will definitely try that as much as possible to get it.
Of course, there's still all to fight for. We have a lot to prove. I always say we have a lot of quality in the team. But hopefully we can kick on and get the points that we need to qualify, because it's something that we all want to do, want to achieve as a nation. We have the players to do so. We just have to believe and make things right on the day. Of course, like the same way fans and everyone demands from us, we the players, we demand from ourselves as well, because we know the quality we have. We know how well we do for our club sides. We just have to bring that form on a consistent basis for Nigeria. And everyone believes, we all want to fight, and the Nigerian spirit is in us that we all want to win. So we'll go to the games and hopefully we can, like I said, get the points.
Swedish football manager Sven-Goran Erikson, who led England from 2001 to 2006, died at 76 years on Monday after a battle with pancreatic cancer. His agent confirmed he's passed away peacefully at home with his family. Erikson, known for his guiding England to World Cup quarter-finals in 2002 and 2006, announced his retreat from public life in February 2023 due to health issues. In January, he revealed he had pancreatic cancer and was given a prognosis of 1 year or less. Born on February 5, 1948 in Sweden, Erikson began his managerial career with Dagerfors IF in 1977, eventually leading to larger club success. And that's all on the news. But let's take a look again at some of the major stories. President Tinubu has appointed new Directors General for NIA DSS. Days after killing the Emir of Gobir, bandits have abducted 150 persons in Sokoto. We also told you that Chinese hospital ship have berthed in South Africa on day 7 on 7-day free medical mission. Send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen and do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch us live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Adebola Adedugba.